In this video today, I want to talk to us about the choices we make in life, how God uses dreams to help the believer make the right choice. You see, there are only two choices for everybody, every man, every woman, especially believers, that you can only make. There are only two choices. You must make one. And when you hear the two choices, the options, you would ask yourself, which one would I have to make? And it's only God who can help you make the right choices. Only God. For the believer, it is important that you understand that the choice you make determines your longevity, your health status, and everything else surrounds that choice that you have made. And I'll give you some scenarios. I'll give you a few scriptures to pray with. Here's a scenario. I had finished prayers and I was in a dream. In the dream, God showed me an open field with believers kneeling down, praying. So many, endless believers. The count. They were praying, every one of them dressed in blue. Blue top, blue bottom, blue tops, blue bottom. There were two angels. One was a supervisor. The other was hacking, just cutting off the heads of the believers. So I walked up to the supervisor, the supervising angel, and I asked the angel, what did this do? What have they done so wrong that you're cutting off their heads? The angel answered, they have chosen iniquity rather than affliction. These believers have chosen iniquity rather than affliction. These are all believers in an open field, countless number of believers. An angel was just cutting off their heads. He will cut this one's head. There's a supervisor standing there. He will cut this one's head. Every one of them kneeling down, praying. Seriously praying. However, there was an angel behind that was cutting the heads of these believers, though they were praying. And there was a supervisor. When I walked up to the supervisor and asked the supervisor, what have they done wrong? Again, the supervisor answered me, they have chosen iniquity rather than affliction. See, there are only two choices for the believer. None of them seem appealing. But far too many believers are dying and leaving this earth, dying early, prematurely, because of the choices. The choice you make in marriage, whether to marry, whether to divorce, choice of businesses, jobs, career, education, name it. For a believer, Christ must be your choice. Here's an example. I'm a college graduate, and there are opportunities, endless opportunities, for six-figure salaried employment, jobs everywhere. But I went to the Lord and I said, Lord, what would you have me do? For some of you who may be interested, look 5, 5, Luke 7, 7, John 2, 5, Acts 9, 6. Take these scriptures, these verses, use them to pray. Wake up in the middle of the night. Luke 5, 5, Lord, according to your word. 7, 7, at thy word. 2, 5, whatever it says to you, do it. John 2, 5, whatever it says to you, do it. Acts 9, 6, Lord, what would you have me do? Anytime you use any of the scriptures to pray, midnight, God will give you an answer. I hope I'm communicating. In Job 33, look at verse 14. For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of man, and sealeth their instructions, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man. He keepeth back his soul from the pit, and his life from perishing by the sword. And his life from perishing by the sword. What is the sword there? Death. Far too many believers depart, leave the earth prematurely, left and right, just like unbelievers. And it is because of the choices many of us are making. You want a divorce? God is not against you getting a divorce. Go to the Lord. I have so many examples to give, but let me give you this one. I finished prayers and I asked the Lord, okay, as a college graduate, what would you have me do? The Lord lifted up my Bible and he said, I will bless you by the preaching of the word. Okay, well, meanwhile, I'm not a preacher. So what do you want me to do now? The Lord showed me a school. I walked into the school and I found myself inside the classroom teaching. When I woke up, I've had countless offers, job offers. Yeah, recently, I walked into the school. The principal called me. And the principal called me and he says, I have a job for you. I'd like for you to take it. It's full time. I responded, ma'am, only if God approves. I only do what God tells me to do. So the principal said, okay, yeah, pray. Let me know what God says to you. But see this job, I'll offer it to you. There are positions to be filled, the principal said. And she would want me to fill this position. She wants me to take this position. I came home, finished prayers. The Lord said no. I walked up to the principal the following day in the morning. The principal came, embraced me, we were talking, and she said, what did the Lord say? I said, the Lord said no. She responded, Kennedy, I will fill all the positions. But you see this one? I will not fill this position until God tells you to take it. If God says don't take it, I will not fill it. But I will have you on staff as a substitute. And yours truly. Recently, another position came up. The pay, lucrative pay, lucrative salary, very attractive. I walked into the building, the principal called me. Since the other job had a lesser pay. In this one, the pay is lucrative. And sincerely speaking, I'd love to have it. She called me. I walked very early in the morning. I walked into the building. She says, I have a job offer for you. It's a position that came up. It pays much better than the previous one. I said, ma'am, I'll pray about it. When I pray about it, whatever God tells me to do, that is what I'll do. I came home, prayed about it, and God said no. To be specific, the Lord told me, if you take this teaching job, you will die early. Am I communicating to you? If I accept a full-time teaching job, I will die early. However, the substitute I am doing is what the Lord has given to me. And when the Lord gave it to me, there were signs. The first day I walked into the building, the place of employment, the address, everything, I saw twins in a dream. And when I got to the building, I saw the twins. They were standing outside. I knew I was in the right place. So you see, with such an opportunity, however, the Lord said no. When I got into the building, the principal called me and said, what did the Lord say? The Lord said no. Now hear this. Somebody else, other persons applied for the position the principal has been offering to me that I declined. And the principal told them, go ask Kennedy. If he says no, then you can apply for it. Only Kennedy will advise me on who to offer this job to. I'm not the principal. However, I got two applicants who came. One of them said to me, the principal said that we should come and ask you. If you reference us, whoever you reference is who the principal is going to employ. And I gave one of the sisters a reference. And as we speak, yours truly, the job was offered to me. Good pay, excellent salary, lucrative. But God said no. God said no. Job 36. In Job 36, look at verse 21. Very important. This scripture, very, very important. Your life hinges on it, and the decisions you make, the choices of life you have made. Take heed, Job 36:21. Take heed, regard not iniquity, for this hast thou chosen, rather than affliction. Iniquity or affliction. In either case, iniquity or affliction. Job, take heed. You have chosen iniquity rather than affliction. For the believer, iniquity, affliction, doesn't look good. The choice of affliction doesn't look good. The choice of iniquity is detrimental. But let me tell you something. When God speaks and says, this is what I desire for you, choose it. Our light affliction is only for a moment. Affliction has an utter end. I hope I've communicated. God bless you. Bye.